live streamed, and your participation in the meeting is your consent to be recorded and be rebroadcast on the city's social media pages. If you have a cell phone, it would be greatly appreciated if you put those devices in airplane mode or turn them off. All right, roll call.
Greg South.
Here.
Les Newman.
Here.
Ed Singleton.
Here.
Linton Bedwell.
Here.
Tony Richards.
Here.
All right. In your packet is the minutes from the February 9th regular council meeting for your review and approval.
I make a motion to approve the regular council meeting of February 9th.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes from the February 9th council meeting. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Les Newman.
Yes.
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Linton Bedwell.
Yes.
Tony Richards.
Yes.
Greg South.
Yes.
Okay. Part of the process, and the next item on the agenda is approval of the claims properly
We have a
signed.
special meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve claims properly signed.
The special
Oh,
meeting.
is that separate?
Yeah, that was in there too.
You want us to go ahead or you want us to wait?
Yeah, you made a motion, so we need for
I'll
approving
second
the claims properly signed.
I second it, Claudia.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the claims properly signed. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Linton Bedwell.
Yes.
Tony Richards.
Yes.
Greg South.
Yes.
And Les Newman.
Yes.
Okay, it should be in your packet also the minutes from the special meeting.
I make a motion, we approve those minutes.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes from the special meeting. Any discussion?
Just to let everyone know, I'll be abstaining from voting as I was not in attendance for this meeting.
Any further discussion? Call for vote.
Linton Bedwell.
Yes.
Tony Richards.
I abstain. I was not at the meeting.
Greg.
I abstain.
Les Newman
Yes.
and Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Also on the agenda is approval of the payroll allowance docket.
I make the motion, we approve the payroll allowance docket.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the payroll allowance docket. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Tony Richards.
Yes.
Greg South.
Yes.
Les Newman.
Yes.
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Linton Bedwell.
Yes.
Okay, the fund reports for the last 3 months should be available in your packet for approval.
I make a motion, we approve the final reports for the last 3 months.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the last 3 months fund reports. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Greg South.
Yes.
Les Newman.
Yes.
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Linton Bedwell.
Yes.
Tony Richards.
Yes.
Okay, I have the motion, I have a motion to approve the appropriations.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve appropriations. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Les Newman.
Yes.
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Linton Bedwell.
Yes.
Tony Richards.
Yes.
Greg South.
Yes.
Under new business, the first item we have on here is the PEFA resolution, which is 202601. Do you have any questions on that? You want to briefly mention what that's about? Brad?
I need some more papers.
Good evening, Brent Slover, General Manager Utilities. Yes, we have our, it's a PEFA discount program on our natural gas. Back in 2019, City of Linton and over 70 other municipal gas systems throughout Indiana and Illinois came together and created a joint action agency, so to speak, in order to fund a discount for natural gas purchases. So we went through that process, and I think a couple of you were on the council at that time. And with that program, once the volumes that we place in that program, for every bit of that gas is bought at a discount. And so far, in a 7-year period, we've had 1,076,850 cubic feet in the program, and that has resulted in $376,897 in savings over that period. Break it down per customer per year. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but on the other hand, it is a savings to our customers. So this is the second phase of that process. The first phase was a 7-year period. The second phase will be somewhere between 5 and 7 years, depending on how the financing looks. So if a shorter term looks better, they may go with the shorter term. Otherwise, it more than likely be a 7-year deal. And so with that, they are wanting to start on this process in April, and this came about pretty quick. Sam was able to review the document, and I think everything is in order. So appreciate if the council would consider this on first passage tonight.
I make a motion, we adopt PEFA Resolution 2026-01.
I'll second that. Go ahead.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt PEFA Resolution 2026-01. Any discussion or questions? Call for vote.
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Linda Bedwell.
Yes.
Kenny Richards.
Yes.
Greg Stout.
Yes.
Les Newman.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is LSSC cross-country lease, complete with the exhibit in your packet.
I asked Tommy Robinson, the pool or park superintendent, I want to know the acreage involved. It does not list the amount of acreage. I mean, are we leasing the whole conservation club to them?
Just the area identified for their trail, their course.
And I believe Tommy talked to you, and did you come up with an acreage amount?
It was roughly 20 acres.
Yes,
Is he back there? I can't.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see you, Tommy, sorry.
I'm here.
Okay, so can we get that today? If this is approved, can we get that in the lease? And why I'm asking.
Well, I can't, without a survey, I can't tell you exactly what the acreage of that area is. And you're not gonna be able to figure it out exactly. We could use a GIS tool and determine it, pretty roughly.
Tommy, what did you use today?
Gary
Can't
and
see
I did
him.
the same thing that Sam was talking about. I called it off of the computer, GIS, and all that. There's nothing chiseled in stone. Besides that, this course was meant to be tweaked as necessary. As me and the mayor talked, I thought giving them 12 to 20 acre, kind of the same deal we did for the soccer league, would give them more than enough. Give them a buffer, because they don't know what they're gonna run into when they cut these trails. There may be ditches, culverts that we not wanna bypass those. To save money, make it easier on them as well.
And that's fine, I'd just like to have those numbers in the lease.
But I can't, like he said, we'd have to survey it out. So I'm just basing it off of what we see on GPS and come up with a rough figure. So actually come up to be 19.3. So I rounded it up and said 20 acres off of what me and the IT guy come up with.
And the only reason I'm asking that is if this lease goes for 10 years, 20 years, we're probably all not gonna be here. And hearsay is, well, I can't quite remember what we did, but I think we did this. Well, no, so I just want,
I think
an answer.
I think a diagram that's clear is gonna give you the same, basic information, because if we were gonna say, okay, we're gonna have it surveyed, what we would do would be to give the diagram to the surveyor and say, give us a legal description of this. So.
But do you
I think
understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I'm not quite sure what the difference between having the acreage is and a clear diagram. I think a clear diagram in this case, when we don't know what the exact acreage is actually more helpful in understanding the lease.
Okay.
We can put them both in there, but it's gonna be an approximate
Well, I
thing.
don't
That
need
would
it,
not necessarily be what you would rely on if you then went to survey it. You would have to rely on the diagram, not the.
I understand what you're saying, but you all sitting out there know as well as I do that we may not be, it may come 3 years from now and, oh, they leased the whole thing. Well, that's not really what happened. I was just trying to get direction, or that was my only question.
What's the acreage of the soccer?
10 to 25.
No, what's the acreage of the soccer complex?
The whole acreage,
Yeah,
I'm not sure. They have 10 to 25 leased.
and what's the acreage of the muscle loaders?
Linda, would it, if we amended the lease before we adopted it to, on the description here, it said, we amended it to say including approximately 20 acres.
Yeah, I just don't want down the road, we all get mixed up, our stories all get changed, and they lease the whole conservation club. Well, I just want a little bit of directive. So that would be fine with me. I don't have a problem with that.
If you guys wanna make a motion to approve that, I would suggest the motion be to approve the lease with the approximate acreage added to the description.
I make a motion, we approve the lease to include the additional acreage on the description for the Linton Stockton School Corporation's use.
I'll second it.
Did you include 20 acres? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Motion's been made to approve the lease with the addition of those 20 acres identified in the description of the property. Any further discussion?
Yes, I have a comment I'd like to make. I don't know if everybody can hear me. Oh, I'm Tony Richards. Last council meeting, I kind of made the comment and stuff that we wasn't for sure about the property because we didn't have a map. And I was questioning about the public access part to the park out there. And I got a comment, Tom, he's our new park superintendent. He's been working hard on this. John has, Sam, our attorney, has. And the school corporation, they wrote us a letter. They're gonna be in charge of it, responsible for everything, the insurance, the whole 9 yards. We're working on the rest of it. Won't be the whole conservation club, but part of it in time will be AD accessible. It may not happen this year, but we're in the works for it. We do have a plan for it. And that's what I was questioning also, what we were gonna do for the public record part of it. We've got an ideal here, which Tom mentioned to me about Linda, 12, 20 acres, so we know what it is there. And last meeting, me personally, I was not against the cross-country team going out there, but I did have some questions that I wanted answered. I wanted all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, so if a problem would come up. So we are working on ADA. The cross-country team, my understanding, everything they put in will be ADA accessible. And there's a place for them to park. And it will be certain area for the cross-country meets where the people, the buses, whatever, will have parking, everything else. The rest of the park won't be opened up. And a part of the conservation club, if you look at that map, the property they're gonna use, it's my understanding, the city will never go to use, it's probably the roughest property out there. So like I say, Skinner and them, they're willing to go out, they're gonna spend a bunch of money getting this cross-country track put in for the kids. I think it's a good idea, and I just wanted to clarify myself about last meeting, and I hope it happens. Thanks.
Where are they parking?
Where the finish and start?
But the cut-through road goes through where we used to.
Okay. I wasn't sure where the parking was. Okay, I just asked. Anyway, I'd like to also add to that Jared Lee was very helpful in a lot of information that we got. And I'd like to thank him for his participation too in helping get this done.
I would add my comment as a former cross-country coach for middle school. It's a long time coming to have our own course again, so we can have our own home meets. I think it's a great benefit for the school and the community as well. So motion's been made and seconded. Any other comments?
I think we just made a motion to
It's
add
not
the
been
20
seconded.
Oh, it's not been
acres.
seconded? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
think,
motion,
I
yeah, I think the
thought- I
motion
thought
was
it
to
had-
approve the lease with the added language.
yeah,
Yep, I thought it hadn't been seconded.
Mhm.
so. Okay, any further discussion? Call for vote?
Linda Bedwell,
Yes.
Tony Richards.
Yes.
Greg Sapp,
Yes.
Les Newman.
yes,
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Thank you. The next one on here is the muzzle loaders lease. It's an annual renewal of this lease.
so moved,
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the Buck Creek muzzle loaders lease. Any discussion? Call for vote?
Tony Richards.
Yes.
Greg Sapp,
Yes.
Les Newman,
yes,
Ed Singleton.
Yes.
Linda Bedwell.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is Terry Jackson, EMA Director.
Thank you for letting me come and speak today. Terry Jackson, I'm the new Emergency Management Director for the county. And I'm here to ask the board if they would consider adopting the county's new all-hazard mitigation plan. This plan was adopted by the county back in October. It was also approved by FEMA. And what the plan does is it's an outline of things the county needs to do to try to mitigate the damage from natural disasters, man-made incidents and stuff. But the big benefit to the city is that if you adopt the plan, then it makes you eligible for FEMA grants and also FEMA funding if there is a disaster where we reach the FEMA threshold, which unfortunately with the tornado, we did not reach the FEMA threshold. But I sent a copy of it to the mayor, it's like 600 pages long. And yeah, just asking on behalf of the county emergency management if you guys would consider the plan.
After consideration and talking to Terry, he wanted to talk about it, mention the plan. We're gonna prepare a resolution, so it is a sizable document, as you can tell, to have for your review and discussion to look at before the next meeting. We'll have a resolution ready for approval. So,
All right, thank you.
thank you, Terry.
Mhm.
Next on the agenda is Ashley Dyer, talking about A.M. Mercer Pool.
Good evening. How is everyone today? I wanted to approach you again since coming before you last month. And when I came before you last month, I had talked about all the work that our group had been doing. We have quite a few people here today in support of us. If you've helped with our project, if you could please stand up, let the council know that you're here in support of this project. Thank you. Since our last meeting and coming before you, we've raised over $5,000 more, 5,500 to be exact, in fundraising donations. Inman Realty, a local company here in town, Linton Family Dentistry, Tech Shack, Learn Lab, High Gain, French Financial Services, Greene County General Hospital, as well as some private donors have stepped up already since we launched a sponsorship campaign just, I believe, maybe 2 weeks ago. Since launching that campaign and also putting online some renderings of ideas that we have for improvement of the pool, we've had about 20,000 visitors to our Facebook page, mostly positive comments. There's been a lot of, I guess, misinformed individuals that believe that the revitalization project that we want to do to this pool is going to cost taxpayers money, is going to require a referendum, and different things like that. And I just kind of wanted to address the council, because when I was before you last month, ultimately I had talked about the budget and how I knew that there was some money there because there was thousands of dollars set aside for economic development. But after a meeting with the mayor, we talked about the budget and how that's really just an estimation of expenses. Doesn't really speak to what's actually in the city's finances. So since that meeting with the mayor, I did have a chance to go back and look at Indiana Gateway. And I thought more representative of what monies might be there to help the pool would be the monies that were there at the end of 2025. And what I found was that $1,253,631.59 was ending balances of the rainy day fund, the cumulative capital development fund, and edit fund, economic development income tax. And I have those printouts for each of you to kind of look at and go over with me. So what I learned is that an economic development fund, we ended 2025 with $946,351.93 in that account. The cumulative capital development fund ended with $147,279.06 in that count. And the rainy day fund ended with $160,000.60. What is important to know is the rainy day fund, it's remained unchanged since 2020. This city has never had to dip into our rainy day fund since 2020. With the cumulative capital development, it has grown from 2020 to 2025 by almost $100,000. And the edit funds have increased from $293,761 in 2020 to an ending balance of $946,351, making up that total that I said the city ended with $1,253,631.59 in their account that could be used for economic development. By statute, if you look at what the cumulative capital development fund is for in edit funds, I have those statutes attached to the back. Our own ordinance here for the city of Linton establishing the cumulative capital development fund specifically states that that fund is used for subsection E, cumulative building fund parks. If you go to Indiana statute, it specifically indicates that a board may establish a cumulative building fund for subsection 1, repair of park and recreation facilities. The definition of park purposes includes swimming pools. That's very much a park and recreation facility in Linton, Indiana. And ultimately, what needs repaired the most is this liner. If this liner at the pool can be repaired for $175,000, that allows the use of this pool for 10 years. And our organization wants to keep helping. We want to keep helping fund and find the money so that we can improve the pool with water slides and those fun features that maybe the city doesn't want to spend the funds on right now because there is other important infrastructure that has to be repaired within this city. But if you see on the first page of this graph, the liner takes up 12% of those funds, leaving 88% of the funds that were there in 2025 for other infrastructure. Ultimately, I understand that edit funds are going away in 2028. But the city is still going to get edit funds this year and they're still gonna get edit funds next year. And so those funds are just going to continue to increase. And in 2025, the city barely touched the edit funds. In 2025, we only used $35,609 of the edit funds and only $17,000 of cumulative capital development funds. And in 2024, we only used $42,000 of edit funds and only $17,000 of cumulative capital development funds. And if the city recalls, in 2024, at the end of 2024, there was some talks whether the money was there to repair the liner of the pool, and $35,000 that was earmarked for the baby liner, as you know, was reallocated because there was question of whether the funds existed to replace the liner. And it appears that in 2024, those funds were there. And given the fact that they were barely used going into 2025, I'm not sure what they've been earmarked for. And so on behalf of our group, on behalf of the city of Linton, on the behalf of our community, the people who no longer live here that still care about this community, I'm urging the city and this council to consider paying for this liner because the money is there. The money can be used. This fiscal body has it within their power to approve this repair to the liner, and you still have you'll still have over $1 million left between those accounts for other important infrastructure. So that is my request of the city, and would like you to consider that request so that we can show this community the city cares about this pool, that the city wants to have fun things for our youth to do, and that it's an asset, because at the end of the day, it is an asset. And at the end of the day, it brings in money. Is it self-sustaining? I'm not sure, but we've used edit funds, for example, to repair the You'll Like Linton signs. I can tell you the You'll Like Linton signs, as much as we all love them, they don't bring in money to this community. But edit funds have been used for that. And so I think using edit funds for the pool is something that does bring in people to this community, something that allows our youth and our families something to do in the summers, is well worth the money to be spent, and would request a motion from the council to consider this request. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
How do we go about making this happen? Anybody have any answers?
I would like to see the council speak with the accounting company, which we have a meeting coming up,
Okay.
for you guys to just understand why they keep going against spending all this money on the pool.
I understand that, but you know, it's just, do we want the pool or we don't want the pool? We are working our tails off to get this pool. We have the money. You know, so far this year, out of the edit money, we've spent $1,400 for credit card software, $7,500 for house demo, $2,700 for tree cleanup, $16,250 for base construction. You know, we've got close to $1 million in it. I would like to see the city step up and pay for the liner.
You mentioned having a meeting scheduled with our accounting company. When is that meeting?
April 19th.
It's the next council meeting. It's before, it's early. Like, I think it's at 5, right before the council meeting.
And I'd also like to say, I know we need new infrastructure. You know, it seems like every other week we have a water leak. I appreciate, I understand that, but the thing of it is, when people come to town, you know, they ask about the schools. How's your school rate? What do you have for kids? Well, we don't have a pool because we closed it down because the city's sitting on $1 million that we're afraid to spend. I just think it sucks. You know, we're just working our tails off, just like the cross country. We have good people that have stepped up and to make this happen. and this is what's gonna have to happen. I'd just like to see it done. Like I said, we've raised over $50,000 in a year in April. So 11 months, we've raised over $50,000. I think it's needed. Maybe some of you don't think it's needed. That's fine. I didn't think we needed a dog park. I didn't get asked if we needed a dog park. Just blink your eyes and the dog park was here. That's fine. But I'd like to see the city step up. We've got the funds and pay for the lineup. That's my comment. So,
And respectfully, as far as what the accounting firm goes, I don't understand with this pool and based on the finances I've looked at, $175,000 to keep this pool operational. The money's here. The money's going to be replaced by additional edit funds that come in this year as well as next year. And so this pool doesn't cost the city that much more than, for example, our parks. Our parks don't bring in a lot of money to this community, but the maintenance of those parks and the amount of money this city spends on those parks is way more in excess than what is spent on the pool itself. The You'll Like Linton signs, I believe those cost around $120,000 for the newest one that got put up. I could be wrong on that number, but again, that's not something that brings in any money to this community. The signs that got put up, the wayfinding signs, I know that wasn't the city that put those up, but that was, I think it was the Greene County,
The Tourism Commission.
Tourism Commission, and those cost about $150,000 for wayfinding signs when everybody in this room has a GPS on their phone that can tell you what direction to go in the city. But the city can't find it within their budget to put in a liner for a pool where children from baby to age 18 can get use of that pool. Families can get use out of that pool. A swim team gets use out of that pool. And again, our group's going to help try to keep raising money to help with those funding things that are gonna come up in the next several years. But at the end of the day, this pool is part of Parks and Recreation. And Indiana statute and Indiana municipal law very much is built upon a city protecting our parks and recreation. And that's what we're here to do and what we're here to ask you to please consider. $175,000 and this $1.2 million balance that you had in 2025, it can be replaced within the next 2 years with these edit funds that are gonna keep coming in. And I believe it's really a small dip in the overall pot and the balance that you had at the end of 2025. And again, I believe it shows this community that the city's committed in keeping this pool, and then maybe we can get those larger donors to help with the fun features and the stuff to bring more people into the pool and raise more revenue for the city.
Actually, you need that liner this summer.
We need it this summer. I don't know if we can get
It
it
would
installed
probably
this summer due to wait lists and things like that. I think it's definitely gonna have to be installed next year. But we need to get,
Les, we're on, the pool has a 10-year warranty. We're starting year 17. I would like to speak on that. We did have a gentleman that had stepped up to offer to, I thought he was gonna put in a new liner. The labor was going to be free. I actually talked to that gentleman today. He's a very nice gentleman. He had worked with Indiana Pool and Spas. And I said, if you put in a liner for us, if we buy a liner off of Ed and this guy puts it in, the warranty's no good. The company you buy the liner off of has to put it in. So I thanked him. He offered to help in any way he could. Appreciate what he didn't even from Linton, he's from Jasonville. And he had good ideas. And like I said, he said he'd help us in any way he could. So I really appreciate the gentleman stepping up. I'd just like to make a motion that the city pay for the liner. Put in a new liner for the pool.
Well, in my opinion, given that we don't have the need to approve it at this meeting. We should wait for our discussion with the accountant.
I can tell you what they're gonna say. They're gonna say no.
That's something that
We need to
also,
unpack all of the budget constraints that we're under and understand all of those before we make a decision on $175,000, in my opinion. And given that it's only one meeting away and you don't have an urgent need to have that approved today, I think it's prudent that we put it on the table for next council meeting.
I still make the motion that we put a liner in the pool. That's my motion.
one thing I would like to state is not only would we have to do an additional appropriation, like it would have to be approved, but it also has to be approved by DLGF.
Mhm.
So it's not something that we could just approve right now and order it.
So we can't make the motion to get the motion going, to get the wheels turning?
I mean, I guess you can try to get the wheels turning, but I mean, there's a whole process. It's not just something that the next meeting you could automatically have it approved by DLGF, because you guys have to approve it in an additional appropriation resolution. So there is a whole process
Okay.
with it not being in the budget.
All right, thank you.
I guess my question is, the budget did include edit funds for just other miscellaneous things. Would the pool not come under that, what you've already appropriated? Cause I believe, around $380,000 was already appropriated for the 2026 budget out of edit funds that wasn't specifically tied to any specific purpose.
Well, I mean, there's what, 4 different line items for the edit fund? And each one of them is specific for certain things. You have, one for the park, one for others, capital outlay, one for the signs, and is one for sidewalks? I can't remember.
I believe so. I think 2,000 was for the signs and maintenance, if memory serves me.
How much is in the park?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I got it in my laptop though.
In the park,
You mentioned park.
it was like 25,000.
Okay.
And then, and other capital outlays and there's already a good amount budgeted for 2026 that's not allocated to any specific purpose. And so, even if you did have to get DLGF's approval, I think this is something they absolutely would approve, given that economic development does include repairs and maintenance of your already standing capital outlays and your facilities.
When does the pool open?
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, the Monday after.
So how long will it take to put a liner in anyway? I mean, what's the earliest you need so you can open on time?
I don't know that. I don't have that answer for you.
Last year, when I got the bid in January, I talked to the people in January, they were gonna install it in April. They're probably already booked up for this year. It's late this year.
I would like
So we need to try to get by another year with this liner, what we're saying.
We do, but it would be nice to know that the city would approve it for 2026 and have this money earmarked, or excuse me, for 2027 and have it earmarked.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
Yeah, I think the goal and the plan is to try to get by with the liner that has probably about 10 patches in it currently and newer 1 or 2 holes that were about this big that I seen the other day. But yeah, I think the plan's to try to get by this year with the liner. But at the end of the day, I think it sends a huge message to our community if the city's willing to finance this liner, and then we can work for the slide and the fun stuff that is going to draw a bigger crowd and more people to our pool.
How'd that liner work out in the baby pool last year?
They didn't end up putting a liner in. They did an epoxy coating on the pool, and it didn't hold real great. They're gonna try it again this year, but they were losing water last year.
It's better than having it closed, having the baby pool closed. Yeah.
So actually, that baby pool would need a liner too, wouldn't it?
It's included in the
It's
estimate.
included in the estimate, good.
Yes,
Okay.
that estimate included the baby pool as well as the big pool. Install and the liner, and I believe it was a 10-year expected life expectancy was 10 years.
It was the same company we got the previous liner from. So. I just have a fear that if that pool closes, it's never gonna open back up.
Well, it'll be a lot harder and a lot more costly to open it back up than if we keep it functioning at its current state. I believe that we can make this pool and turn this pool into something beautiful for less than $1 million. But if this pool closes and we have to start over, you're gonna be looking at millions of dollars down the road.
And the bathhouse right now is in pretty good shape, isn't it?
Yeah, last year there was a lot of repairs.
Right.
It was done last year and it does look a lot nicer.
How much was the attendance up last year, you know?
Not much. I don't actually know.
I know the year before it wasn't
No,
great at
it
all.
wasn't great at all, no.
I think if you look at the attendance from last year, it's important to note the first almost 2 weeks of summer, the pool was closed almost daily because the water temperatures couldn't get up to normal temperatures. We had a unusually chilly summer starting out last year, and so you gotta take that into consideration too.
What kind of numbers do you have for the swim team?
I'm not on the swim team,
Katrina, do you know?
We usually roughly have 40 to 50 kids. And that's coming from Jasonville, Farmersburg, Bloomfield. I mean, they're all over.
That's great.
And Linton is the only pool in the county, and including Sullivan's pool, that can have sanctioned swim meets. Bloomfield isn't, I don't wanna say not big enough, but not set up to have them, neither is Shakamak and neither is Sullivan. So this is the closest pool would be Bloomington or Terre Haute to have a swim meet.
Does the football team still train there?
Yes, they do. I believe the football team, I think the volleyball girls, we have water aerobics there, we have lap swim there. Anyway, it's, I think.
I would just like to point out, I don't know what this accounting firm's gonna say, but the pool makes up about 60,000 of a $5 million budget. And I believe only about 10 to 15,000 has been carried over each year, give or take. That fluctuates from the general fund to help. But at the end of the day, I don't understand how cutting this pool saves the city's finances or infrastructure. You just gotta do the math. The city only budgets 60,000 of a $5 million budget a year on this pool. The city only has to carry over 10 or 15. I mean, of a $5 million budget, that's less than 5%. And so why this pool is on the chopping block from an accounting firm, I can't wrap my head around it, but maybe you guys can talk to this accounting firm and figure it out, because to me, it just doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Ashley.
So right now, we gotta get by. The liner we got right now.
We're gonna
It's
get
getting
by.
too late, it's getting too late to
Yes, yes.
do anything this year.
I mean, we could call them and let's say I win the lottery. I mean, I could call them tomorrow and they could probably schedule it for August or September. A liner. But as to get it, to call today and have it in by May, that's not gonna happen.
Gotta get
We
the
wouldn't want to put one in on, we'd
I wouldn't
wait
think
until
so.
next year,
Yeah,
we'd want to, the first of next year.
I think we would get on board with them next year, sign the contract and have it ready to install. I think last year when we talked, I think the contract, they were gonna, we had the money to install it in April.
I think if memory serves me, it was actually, they dated the estimate February of 2025 and was gonna, but Linda had talked to him in January of 2025.
We do have a shade structure in the city barn that was procured last year that's gonna be installed beginning, and that'll be the shade structure around the concession area.
And also today, I think John's aware of this, and Tommy Robinson again, we have a little, I don't know, office little thing there behind the concession stand. At one time, there was a window there. We're gonna try to maybe see about opening that up, see what all the hoops we gotta jump through to maybe, instead of moving fence, so we can have patrons from the park come and get sodas. They can come into this little room. We'll have the door open and we can do a concession window from there for the just people driving by wanting to, what is it, they eat churros or whatever those things are that everybody likes. Bosco sticks, yeah. Anyway, that's the thing we're gonna try to, not sure it's gonna happen, but we're gonna try, see if we can get that going this year. So it's not like we're not trying, cause we're working our tails off.
The original configuration of the fencing actually had access, walk-up access to the outside. And I don't know what changed over the years, but then it closed off, so having an outside access for concessions would be a plus.
And I think I don't know, it wouldn't take a whole lot, maybe a couple $1,000, I'm sure. We can maybe round that up somehow. I know the people that come and do workforce, not sure what to call them, anyway.
Contractors,
No.
volunteers.
The offenders.
Oh.
Yes, anyway,
Okay.
I think they could help us out on that a lot, so, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's,
We table an issue or?
There's still a motion on the table, there hasn't been a second yet.
Sounds like the council needs to meet with our accounting firm.
I would like to do that. I would hate to make, a judgment this quick, but I think we need some more history and kind of look at things a little stronger since that's brought up. We would fund the whole thing. So that's my opinion.
fine.
I mean, it's right away, it's already scheduled, so.
Okay, so we'll work with you to schedule when that's gonna be and what time. Meeting with-
It's already scheduled.
With the accounting firm, it's already scheduled for the council. Okay.
You guys received your packets that had all of the training and had the printouts and that stuff. It's about that, which can explain more about them with the, how they help decide where the money goes.
Are we gonna need more time?
I don't think so.
We add this to it, we'll still have enough time to.
I mean, you wouldn't be making any decisions, it's them training you over the new laws that are coming out, the way money's gonna be flowing, what are estimated amounts, how they're gonna be affected. There's a lot of different things that they feel like we should have you guys to know more about.
Ultimately, I think you're probably gonna be educated that come 2028, there's gonna be less money coming in through edit funds, because those are going away in 2028. But at the end of the day, this money's been here long before Senate Enrolled Act 1 was passed. And now this is just kind of the new excuse as to why this pool should not be repaired. And at the end of the day, the money's there. I mean, it's black or white. It's black and white. It's there. Sure, they're gonna say there could be all these repair costs that's gonna cost hundreds and thousands of dollars. But those are what ifs, those are buts, and again, I think cutting this pool that really frankly doesn't take up a lot of the budget just doesn't make sense and seems like it's a way to get out of having to have this swimming pool, and our community needs this pool. And
You know,
so-
I don't think there's a person here on the council that wants to get rid of the pool. I mean, we've had the pool for years and years, you know, I was a kid when they built the pool.
Yeah.
And I look forward to it, and, you know, that's just, but we need to look at things a little closer. I mean, making a snap judgment like everything else, we really don't wanna do that. We'd rather meet and talk about it, but like I say, I don't think there's a person here that wants to close the pool down, as far as I know. So,
And I don't know, I just don't I guess for me, it's just hard to wrap my head around how this money was here in 2023 and 2024 and 2025, and we've not dipped into it, and we're saving it, and it doesn't sound like it's been earmarked for anything. And so I respect you listening to me, and I appreciate you listening to me.
thank you.
And I thank you all for at least considering this request, and if not the whole amount, you know, what you can do could be helped and would show this community that the city is backing this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a quick question for the rest of the council members. If we have this meeting with the accounting firm, they say, well, this is ridiculous, why would you do this? And no, you can't have the money, and you know, it would be silly to do this. You still gonna back me? That's what I wanna know.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley, for your taking time to research.
Yeah, very well done on that.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a Humphreys Park rental agreement. This is for the nonprofit or the fundraising, I guess I should say, organizations that utilize our park, the $100 permit fee. Any kind of utility work and service and after effect cleanup.
Did you say that? I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
For any fundraising organization that's gonna use our utility, or vendors who use utility, or anything in the regard of them making funds or additional funds, just $100 permit fee for cleanup and utility service.
I just had a question. Down here in section 2, it says the ordinance shall apply to any event to be hosted at the park that is,
25 people,
okay,
what I got in there, and the next one,
yeah, I
section 3,
didn't have,
section is 60 days,
Okay.
60 days notice.
there were just some blanks. I get a little nervous when blanks happen, so, anyway. That was my question about that.
And then lastly, John, what is this ordinance number gonna be, except that section? on mine?
2026-01, sorry.
0 what?
1.
I thought we just, that was,
Resolution.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
One's an ordinance, one's a
all right,
resolution.
okay. All right, thank you.
I'd make a motion that we approve ordinance 2026-01 to institute a $100 permanent fee for the use of the park for fundraising.
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded to approve ordinance 2026-01 regarding fundraising events, pay $100 permit fee for the park. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Greg Stout,
Yes.
Wes Newman,
yes.
Ed Singleton,
Yes.
Linda Bedwell,
Yes.
Tony Richards.
Yeah. The next 3 items on the agenda, we're gonna be tabled. We were anticipating having a notice to proceed on the NDOT project, which is the B100 ditch, B100 bridge there by AutoZone. We have not received that notice to proceed yet, so once we do.
Wait.
The highway reimbursable agreement needs to be approved this evening, the other 2 will be scratched for a later date.
Okay, I'm sorry, thank you. Yeah, the highway reimbursable agreement is in your packet. For the NDOT project to continue, we have to move the utilities, and we get 100% reimbursable by the state for what we have invested in moving the utilities around so that they can reinstall a new bridge.
I make a motion, we approve the highway utility reimbursement agreement.
I'll second it.
The motion been made and seconded to approve the highway utility reimbursement agreement in the amount of $1,048,449. Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Les Newman,
Yes.
Ed Singleton,
Yes.
Linda Bedwell,
Yes.
Tony Richards,
Yes.
Greg Stout.
Yes.
Thank you, Brad. And the next two items will be tabled then until we get the NDOT notice to proceed. That brings us to the end of our agenda, and I would like to make motion that there, not a motion, but make that there is a public hearing on the 19th of March. The public hearing notice was posted in Friday's paper, and it's in regard to two projects. The lead line replacement for water line, and the possible water line updates for the infrastructure. So that's on the 19th. The two PERs in support of those two projects. One is available, the other will be available tomorrow, the preliminary engineering report. If you want to review them, they're again quite sizable.
We have the time.
5:30 is the public hearing. Department heads?
Hello, Paul Clark, Chief of Police. We have much to report, save our regular statistics. 748 or 745 calls into our dispatch, so that's kind of covers all of police, fire, EMS that come through our dispatch center, resulting in 356 law enforcement responses or investigations, including 93 traffic stops, which resulted in 12 citations. Those are our stats. We have a hiring process that's getting ready to come to an end. That's all I really have, unless you guys have any questions. Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you. James has a couple additional things to talk about tonight.
I'll start off with the run counts and such first. We had 101 runs total for the Linton Fire Department. 16 of them were related to fire calls, which include 4 motor vehicle crashes, 4 gas leaks, 1 CO alarm, 2 brush fires, and the rest of them are just, we classify as other, either fire alarms or just calls for service. EMS calls, we had 85, 43 of those were transports, 13 lift assists, 9 ambulance assists, and then 20 were SORs or no actual services needed. Also last month, the department purchased ice rescue equipment. Members of the department received training on those, so now we can service or help the community out on ice rescue and go out to the state property and stuff. We had an incident in December, and that brought me to the conclusion that we need to buy that kind of stuff. So several of our members are trained. We're going to receive additional training next winter to where all of our members will be actually certified to do ice rescue stuff. But we have the equipment, and some of us are certified to do that at this time. The department also received a reimbursement grant from the State Fire Academy for the amount of $7,000. With that, we're going to be purchasing additional training props and repairing the training trailer, which moves props from fire department to fire department here in this area. And then today, I would like to recognize one of our firefighters. Last month, he accomplished something that not very many do in our department, and he's been with our department for 25 years. I think there's only like 3 or 4 that I know of besides him that's received that. So I'd like to give him a plaque that for his 25 years of service with the Linton Fire Department. And also this earlier today, 2 of our members received valors from the State Fire Marshal's office for their assistance in the last tornado during the building collapse. They went out just immediately after the storm and located a family that was in that collapse zone. They went inside that building themselves in the collapse area and gave up some of their personal protective equipment to protect that victim. So they received that valor today from the State Fire Marshal's office. Any other questions or anything from us?
Do you have the names of the?
Oh, okay. Yes. Ori Phipps and Braden Keller were ones that received that. And also that I forgot is our new guy starts on the 16th. He'll be working Monday through Friday on orientation that week. And then he'll go to my shift on the 24th. And he's already certified in the fire service and in the EMS side. So he'll go straight to shift after that 1 week of orientation. I don't know if there's anything else. Any other questions? All right, thank you guys.
Tommy? I think Tommy will also be providing gas and water information tonight as well, since Ross is unable.
I'm Tom with the street department. I'd first like to apologize for some of the turnaround on our service tickets. I'd like citizens have some patience. We've been overloaded with fiber locates. From last month having 32 to this last month, we went over 200 locates. Our trash routes continue as scheduled, but I'd like to thank the street department for stepping in while we still have 2 employees that are off. We've been working on brush tickets and street maintenance whenever we could fit into the schedule. There was a few storm repairs that was immediate. We're also trying to work those into workload as efficiently as possible. Wastewater is operated as normally with only a few blockages, all which were clear. And we had our bid opening, which EMB had won for the community crossings project, and they have till November 30th to complete all the road work. At that time, I'll take any questions from the council. All right.
Yep.
Kevin Wright, Foreman, Electric Department. I concur with Tom about the locates. We've been covered up. Gas and water worse than us, but anyway. We're continuing our tree trimming. Rain kind of slowed us down, and just routine maintenance. Any questions?
On the tree trimming, if you have limbs down and you pull them to the side of the road, call up here to the utilities department, correct? And fill out a claim or a ticket?
If somebody, citizens.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just a mix-up sometimes. I just wanted to.
Call utility office and I'll make a reporter. Thank you.
Brent?
Evening again, Renewable Energy Utilities. Just want to say I appreciate all the hard work put in by the city and Commonwealth engineers with this NDOT V-Hunter ditch culvert replacement project. It's been quite consuming over the last several months of putting all this together, and I'm real pleased that NDOT has decided to help us tremendously with the cost of this project. So appreciate that. The only other item I really have to talk about is the joint project that we have for installing the underground fiber. They contracted with a company that's called EPC, and so the phase 1 is in the northwest section of town. They are really moving forward with that rather quickly. I would just like to say kudos, big thanks to our city employees, because there's somewhat of a mix-up when they were calling in locates. They have 2 subcontractors, and when you call in locates to 811, you can't piggyback off of one another, and they end up calling in locates for a large geographical area. And so with our utilities, especially our gas utility, we have 2 full working days to get those utility lines located. Otherwise, it throws us into a violation with the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. So our guys really beat their feet of getting that done. We had a meeting last week with these contractors, and we hope we have that process streamlined much better now for the second phase, which would be an extension further out in the northwest area in phase 2. You'll also see Joink, since they did purchase the assets from Endeavor, they are then periodically installing fiber to the homes off of that existing line. So it's been very busy for them and for us. So hopefully we can transition to the next phase in a more efficient manner. So with that, I would be happy to entertain any questions you might have.
I got a question. They're down on J Street working. It's wetter than wet down there. I stopped and asked the guys today if they were gonna put the mud back like it was, and they didn't seem to understand me, but anyway, when I mentioned city council, they, oh yeah. I mean, it's a mess down there, and they've got piles of mud. Are they gonna put those back satisfactory to the homeowner?
They will yes, reinstall the dirt and make it appropriate. If I've driven around at places that they already have done work and they have put dirt and seeded and strawed. Now they may have to come back later as it settles and refill, but from what I've seen, I think they're doing a really decent job with it. Again, I think they may have to come back later on after the things have settled, but so yes, they'll.
Okay, thank you.
If we see a problem, we'll call them out on it.
Thank you. We did have a delicate situation this weekend that I want to acknowledge and thank Tommy Bailey and William Wagner. There was a burial planned for Saturday that they were asked to postpone, and they didn't. And when they dug the grave, the headstone and the foundation all fell into the grave, which was full of water. And today, Tommy and William actually recovered the headstone, the foundation, and the base, and actually complete the burial today. It was a very delicate situation, you can imagine, with the family. And those are sensitivities that I think are often forgot about at our cemetery and how you handle those. So I'd like to recognize their work for that today and making sure that that was actually completed. Okay, on the public comment speaking, I have Chelsea.
I just want to thank you guys for agreeing on this lease. It's been, I think it was 6 months ago, I approached John and I would do it all over again. It's for the kids. Again, I thank you guys.
Do you intend to sign this, Linda?
Yep. I received this about 5:30 today and was asked if I would read it. To whom it may concern, I was denied time to speak during public comments because of my disability preventing me from attending in person. I called 3 weeks ago to set up a method to speak remotely, and only today, 3/9/26, was told no. I was told to submit in writing to be read during public comments, but have yet to figure out how to write about a meeting that hasn't happened. Yet again, we seem to bypass reasonable accommodations for citizens that need them. A telephone speaker before the council is not unreasonable. I apologize to the citizens for constant issues, but without them, we would not have progress, and this is an issue that will be addressed. A disability is not a burden, inaccessibility is. Jared Lee. And I think that's pretty sad. Get out here. When we can't let people speak. We spoke with Jared, Tommy, Mayor and I on a speakerphone about a month ago, 2 weeks ago. It was acceptable. He can't get up here unless an ambulance brings him. He has sores that aren't healed. All he wanted to do was have the speakerphone on and thank you guys. And he was trying to work with you to get the Conservation Club open. It's really sad.
Jerry Jackson, I assume that you've already. Okay. Harold Smith?
As a business owner, I support the pool. Each decision I look at, when I make a decision, it involves return on investment. How much is it gonna cost me? How much am I gonna make on a return? Pool definitely has an operating cost. While it may be true, the pool may not generate lots of cash. I believe properly funding the pool must be looked at in terms of the return on investment in memories. The memories our young people make, the swim team will remember the hours of training as they compete. Can a monetary price be put on the positive, youthful memories that will be generated as a result of this council getting behind and fully funding this important portion of our pool? After the pool is fully funded, the volunteers' efforts will turn to getting more high-quality items added. This will no doubt become the best draw for the city, for young people in neighboring towns, not only people from our area, but other counties as well. Recently completed projects under this administration include a Veterans Memorial, kudos, very good job on
That
that,
is not under the city.
and dog park, well, under your administration as mayor. Thank you for heading that up. You're the chief. As a taxpayer, I'm okay with portions of my taxes being used towards fully funding the pool. I don't give a flip what the accounting firm thinks. Bean counters have no vested interest in the community's children. John, as mayor, by getting behind the pool, you will help fulfill a primary campaign promise you made prior to your election. And that is to create a community that Linton High School graduates would want to move back to Linton when they have families of their own. And I remember you saying that. Kudos for that. Council, please fund the pool for the kids, not because the return on investment in dollars and cents doesn't add up financially, but in memories it will. Thank you for considering the pool.
Any final comments?
I'd like to retract the statement that I made last council meeting about the Conservation Club and the cross-country course. I'm kind of passionate about the project, wanting to reopen it for the citizens to use. I upset a few people in this process, and I apologize for this. I am very sorry. I'll always work to try and improve our city and make it safe for our citizens. Thank you.
Any final comments?
I'd like to congratulate Coach Britton and boys basketball for winning the sectional over the weekend. That's a great job. I think they go down, Seymour, Saturday?
Against Paoli.
Paoli.
Any other comments? Have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Any discussion? Call for vote?
Ed Singleton,
Yes.
Linda Bedwell,
Yes.
Tony Richards,
Yes.
Greg Sapp,
Yes.
Les Newman.
Yes.
If you didn't sign in and you're visiting, please sign in, come up here and sign in before you leave.